Today we are going to continue the topic of this map reading. Previously we discussed some issues related to this particular map reading. What the map tells us, what does a map tell us is the concept, and in previous the details related to this map that were discussed were directions. I repeat the directions: north, south, east and west, and this is northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. These directions this map tells us that we discussed earlier. Then afterwards we discussed about the scale that is related to showing the distance. In the previous episodes we discussed about this particular to find out the distance between Mumbai to Hyderabad. It is the aerial distance, like that also we discussed. This is the concept we discussed previously. Thereafterwards we talked about colors. We talked about color. Then what type of color indicate, and what type of information does the color indicate. We discussed such issues. And then in our previous concept we discussed about the legend. Here is the legend, we saw that, and the legend, what are the symbols present in that legend and how they are helpful to find out about that particular locality. That is the concept we learned already. But today's topic is the contour lines. This is the topic of ours today, contour lines. And contour lines, generally, with the contour lines like that, maps we do not get. We don't get the contour line maps. And only in some of the Atlas books it is present. Not all the Atlas books publish these contour line maps. And generally related to the municipal workers and roadside buildings, railway department, military people, telecommunication people, like that, these contour line maps are present with them. Generally they are not available in other areas, and we cannot get them as a thematic map just like this particular concept. So contour lines are the maps which show the height or depth. Height or depth of a place. It can be useful for finding out the height or depth of a place. This map is somewhat in two-dimensional. That is, what we can see in a map is only the length and breadth. Length and breadth we can see. But there, you observe here, there are so many cities present, so many mountains present. Many are there, but they are all present in only the plain sheet. You cannot touch that mountains like any objects that are bulked up, or just like a swollen up, or ditches like that in the back like that. Because it is not the 3D map, it is only 2D. Only two dimensions are there, not the third dimension. On map generally it is not easy to show that particular third dimension. So generally we don't get the maps with this particular contour lines. And here, now coming to this point, but how can we find out this one? Contour lines are the lines that joins the places with the equal height or depth. Suppose here, for the time being, you imagine that here, because the qualities with the contour line are similar to this. That is why I used this one. Here, what is the similarity? For example, let us imagine the areas on this particular set line. Whatever the areas it is touching, all these line areas having the similar height. For example, same height, probably some 1000 meters of height is there in one place. If all the areas with 1000 meters of height are added, joined by a line like this line or this line, then that line is called as contour line. Contour lines, one more concept also we have to know. They never cross one another. They never cut off. That means never intersect like this. because a place cannot be having two different heights or depth at a time. Only one type of height or depth it will have. So that this crisscross lines are not there in this particular contour lines. Here also you can observe there is no crisscross. There is no crisscross. Suppose if it is the contour line, it means all these areas are having the similar height or depth. Height or depth, they are measured from the basing upon the sea levels. Sea level only. We will discuss that particular concept of sea level afterwards. How to find out, that is the next topic of our subject. But coming to this again a little more. Sir, where do we use these contour lines? Is a question. Contour lines are used by the particular departments, especially the roadways, the transportation, roads, for making roads. They will observe what is the height of the particular area, from which height they have to travel, or what is how much slope they have to keep. For example, this area height how much, this area is height how much. They have to find out, and basing upon that, according to the angle, they have to construct, that is called gradient. Even for laying railway lines on plain areas also, they have to observe where the slope is there, where the height is there, where they have to level if possible or if at all required, and how much depth they have to dig for the leveling that area. Like all these things are done by this particular contour lines. And the electric lines are also laid, like electric hot lines, whatever we call, telephone poles, electric poles, like that. But taking that wiring, everything is done. For that, they have to know how much height it is. Basing upon that, they will measure the velocity of wind, etc. And basing upon that, they may choose the metals that is next matter. So that they have to know these contour lines for providing or for laying the railway lines, roadways, railways, like transportations, as well as the electric lines like that, or gas supply like that, if it is done by the pipeline. And then besides this, the people related to military, for the defense purpose and in war purpose they use, and which is the highest point, that is the safest point. From height they can attack on the enemies easily, so they prefer the places where the height is more. So for military purpose also, these contour lines are useful. Generally in our daily life we are not coming across with the help of that, but indirectly we are using these services, means we are using the particular knowledge of this particular contour lines. Okay, then in our next episode we will learn about the measuring of the height. How can the height is measured, and why it is to be measured basing upon only the sea water level, why not in the other areas. That's we will know in our coming episode. Thank you.